All right, Miles, let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks. This is a team, frankly, the last couple off seasons have made smart move after smart move, and we've got a report about another big move that kind of snuck under the radar, but I think it's a really smart move by Pete Carroll and company that could pay huge dividends for them in 2023 and potentially beyond.
Yeah, Nick, I think this is a really great move and kind of shows the direction that the Seahawks are going. I think the story you dug up, the Seahawks fans are going to love it. But there's something else you got to love, Seahawks fans. The schedule has been released. You know who you're facing, you know where you're facing them, and what night it's going to be on. So let us know in the comments below, what game are you looking forward to the most this season? Maybe it's a key primetime game. Maybe it's against a hated division rival. Maybe it's a team you don't get to play that much. So let us know in the comments below what game you're looking forward to the most this season. Make sure to stay tuned to the end of today's video to hear a word from our partner, Neuro. They have some really excellent products, give you a quick and easy boost of energy. We love to take their mints or gum to keep us sharp right before the podcast, keep us on our game so we can give you all the facts about the Seahawks. So stay tuned to the end of today's video to hear more about Neuro and their products and get your hands on our discount code. But Nick, nonetheless, what have the Seahawks been up to? What's the latest big move?
Yeah, in the background of all the schedule release, and that's everything that's been going on the past couple of days, the Seahawks quietly made a really smart move and a really good move that indicates exactly where their head's at in an organization. And I really like it. I know a lot of Seahawks fans are going to be a little curious when they hear it, but bear with me for a minute. So this is from ProFootballTalk.com. Miles, if you want to throw it up, I'll read from it. The Seahawks gained some cap space by restructuring wide receiver Tyler Lockett's contract, and they found a use for some of it. ESPN reports that they are signing defensive end Mario Edwards. It's a one-year deal with no other terms disclosed at the moment. So Mario Edwards is a solid rotational pass rusher. He's been around the block. He's had multiple sack seasons the past 4 or 5 years, even though he hasn't been a starter. So again, he's just a situational depth pass rusher guy and some quality depth to the defensive line that'll help the Seahawks defense get after the quarterback. Now, why does this matter? In today's game, the modern NFL, the way you win on defense, and I know a lot of Seahawks fans were really upset and really frustrated that they didn't pick Jalen Carter, but unless you have an Aaron Donald, unless you have a Bosa, unless you have a Micah Parsons, like an elite level all-pro potential Hall of Fame talent on the defensive line, the smarter move to make is to build up your depth and get an army of elite shutdown corners. Because in today's NFL, it doesn't matter how good your defensive linemen are if your corners can't cover because of how quick receivers have gotten, how smart offensive coordinators are, and how talented these quarterbacks are. It doesn't matter. The Super Bowl, the Philadelphia Eagles against the Kansas City Chiefs are an outstanding example of that. The Eagles had easily the best defensive line in football. They had talented guys everywhere. Hassan Reddick was a beast. Hargrave, no matter Fletcher Cox, everybody, Brandon Graham, they had so many great pass rushers, virtually unblockable. But their cornerbacks, not nearly as good, not nearly as deep. What happened? The Chiefs were able to obviously score 38 points, game-winning drives, some key situations. The Chiefs were able to beat the Eagles' corners in one-on-one plays. And, of course, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. That's how you can win in the NFL. That's how you don't win in the NFL, excuse me. You need to have an army of elite corners. Bill Belichick in New England did this for a long time. Heck, the Seahawks and their Legion of Boom was very similar to that construct as well. So that's why I love what Seattle has done. This, to me, shows that their plan makes perfect sense. Going Witherspoon in the first round instead of Jalen Carter. It's better to have an army of elite top-flight corners in today's NFL than one or two great defensive linemen, because you can scheme defensive linemen. You can double-team defensive linemen a lot easier than you can double-team wide receivers. That's just a fact. Get a bunch of great corners. You can literally eliminate a team's offense. You can focus on the run, and then you can use your bevy of depth on the defensive line to get quality pass rushers in against the quarterback. This addition of Mario Edwards, along with Draymond Jones, right, along with all the other moves they made on the defensive line this offseason, paired with the draft pick of Devon Witherspoon in the first round, to me shows that Pete Carroll, John Schneider, and everybody who's managing the Seattle Seahawks right now has the right idea and the perfect strategy to contend at the highest level in the NFL. I really love this move by the Seattle Seahawks. Miles, give me your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, Nick, I think you hit the nail on the head because the Seahawks have made a lot of really great upgrades defensively. Either linebacking core is back up to snuff with the addition of Pittsburgh Steeler, former first-round pick Devin Bush. Maybe he has more success in Seattle's scheme. They got Bobby Wagner back as well to lead the charge from the back line. So those positions are keyed up. But then you look at the corners like you alluded to. Devon Witherspoon looks the best corner in the draft, has the most talent all around the ball, best physical skills. We know how good Bryant and Woolen were last year as well. But the D-line was a little bit, weak, but I don't think it's too bad. But I think the corners were more suspect at times. Woolen was good, but you need another guy to help lock some stuff down. But then you add in I would say, an extremely consistent pass rusher here. And you brought it up. Let's go all the way back about 6 years where he had 4 sacks. Then the next year, 2 sacks, 3 sacks, 4 sacks, 2 sacks, 3 sacks. This is a guy who doesn't get a ton. He's not like on the field 100% of the time. But when he gets in, he is very consistent in getting pressure. And he's able to get you a few key sacks every season. I think at the deal that he's going to get, it's not going to be a world-beating deal. It's going to be a pretty value add here. He is very consistent pass rusher, and he's consistently been able to convert on sacks every single season. You know exactly what you're getting out of Mario Edwards. So I think this is a huge add for Seattle to help give them quick, easy, cheap pass rush help and, be able to cycle guys in and out. Because like you said, you can have all the defensive line depth in the world, but if you can't cover in the secondary, what is that good? What good is that going to do? Because it's not really going to do anything. It's not how you win football in the NFL. You got to have elite corners first on defense. You got to have a good quarterback first on offense. So now Seattle has both of those things, and then you get an addition of some cheap pass rush help. I think they're building this team very, very smartly.
Yeah, because you look at all the teams that do things smart, and we talk about all the teams. We talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. They do a lot of things really smart. They really focus on the back end of their defense. They really like to have depth on the front four. They don't really try and spend huge amounts of money, huge amount of draft capital for front four guys, right? They try and put a lot of their investments on the back end. The New England Patriots, obviously the dynasty for 2 decades, they focused heavily on the secondary because they understand in today's modern day and age, 3 wide receiver sets with 1 tight end gives you 4 legitimate receiving targets. Quarterbacks are really good these days. You need to have a lot of guys who can cover these corners. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. You can't just have 2 good corners anymore. In the old days, if you had 2 good corners, you were set. Not in today's NFL. You need at least 3, I'd argue 4. With Witherspoon into the fold, they now have that third final corner that will allow them to play their base defense and not have to worry about getting beat in one-on-one matchups against, again, this is really important, the top flight competition, because this is a move by Seattle that shows me they're trying to compete with the 49ers. They're trying to compete with the top people in the NFC and frankly, the NFL. If they go Jalen Carter, right, that's a good move. He's a good player. It's a good addition. But to me, it shows they're not trying to compete at the highest level. Getting Witherspoon proves to me that they are thinking about how we can beat teams like the Chiefs, how we can beat teams that are contending like the 49ers at the highest levels of the NFL. That's why I love this move from Seattle Seahawks. It proves to me that their plan is sound, it's clear, it's in place, and they're doing everything the right way. I love what Seattle has done this offseason. All right, Miles, we would like to give a special thanks to our partner today's video, Neuro.
That's right, Nick. And I want you to go with me on a journey really fast. I want you to imagine this. It's 4th and goal in the big game, Nick. Your team is relying on you to make the big-time game-winning play. I know you've been in this situation before, Nick. The stadium is roaring. The clock is ticking. The game is on the line. But if only in that moment you were able to have some Neuro Gum. Neuro Gum will help you stay concentrated, and it gives you a burst of energy without a nasty crash.
That's right, Miles. Neuro has thoughtfully curated ingredients and does endless lab testing, which means that you can reach the right state of mind safely and consistently. That's the most important part. It gives you a clean burst of energy and focus without the jitters of coffee or any of those other energy drinks.
That's right, Nick. And if you click our sponsor link in the description below, you can enjoy energy, calm, and focus whenever you need it.